This is Steve Piloff from George Mason University, talking about delayed annuities and perpetuities. A delayed perpetuity, it's like a perpetuity in that cash flows take place regularly, they never end, but unlike a perpetuity where the first payment's in one period, the first payment takes place later than one period. So you get at least 1 0, and then the cash flow, that first one kicks in, and then after that they continue forever and ever and ever. Either they're fixed or they grow at a constant rate. So it's like a perpetuity, but it's delayed. It just takes a while to kick in. Delayed annuity is a similar concept where you have regular fixed cash flow, specified number of periods. So instead of going forever, there's a finite number. But instead of having the first payment in one period like you would have with an annuity, the first payment takes place in more than one period. And then there's a finite number, and then there's the last one, and you have your delayed annuity. So how do we get the value of a delayed annuity or delayed perpetuity? So if we have an investment that's going to pay us $100 a year forever, but it starts in 3 years, or we have insurance policy that's going to pay us, it's like a retirement policy that's going to pay us $50,000 a year, and it's going to start in 10 years from now and end in 25 years. How much is that worth today? Well, let's just follow these basic steps. How we valued them. Number 1 and number 2. Step 1, create a timeline. Love timelines. And step 2, identify any delayed annuities or perpetuities. So do you have a case where you have at least 1 0, maybe more, and then you have your first cash flow or your first non-zero cash flow, and then after that it either goes forever or it goes for a finite period of time, such you have a delayed annuity. All right, step 3, find the time that is one period before that first cash flow. We're going to call that time K. So let's just go back here, and I'm going to try to get some different colors to make it a little bit easier to see. So here's time K, and this is the time one period before the cash flow starts. Because remember, kind of heading into step 4, where we work with perpetuities and we work with annuities, we have our time 0, the next cash flow is in one period. And so that's what we're replicating here, is we identify time K, which is the period, one period before. So therefore, the first cash flow takes place at time K plus 1. Step 4, we want to value the annuity or perpetuity as of time K. So if it's a fixed perpetuity, it's just whatever that cash flow is that starts in one period. It's going to be that forever and ever and ever. So as of time K, the value of that perpetuity is CK plus 1 over R. If it's a growing perpetuity, it's CK plus 1 over R minus G. And for an annuity, we can figure out, okay, next payments in one period, how many are there, what's the rate, and we can get the value. And again, notice it's labeled here as PV at time K. So what we mean there, get a new color, is suppose this is a fixed perpetuity. If we get CK plus 1 over R, we would get the value as of this point in time. So if we took a time machine, got out here and said, hey look, in one period is a cash flow and then they go forever and ever and they're fixed. If I said what's the value of this cash flow, divided it by the appropriate discount rate, I would get what the value of this investment was as of this point in time. If it grows at a constant rate, then we would do this next cash flow over R minus G. Likewise here, we get out of our time machine here and we say, hey look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's say 6. Find the value of a 6-period annuity with this as a payment, whatever the discount rate is, and we get the value as of this point in time. But now that leads us to step 5, which takes into account the fact that we're not interested in the time at the value at time K. We want to know what the value is at time 0. So how do we do that? If we know that something is worth this at time k, what is it worth at time 0? You just divide by 1 plus r to the k. So if we know the value at this point in time, how do we get the value here? Divide by 1 plus r to the k. Divide by 1 plus r to the k. Those are the basic 5 steps, and a timeline helps a lot in order to deal with delayed annuities and delayed perpetuities. There are your 5 steps, and that's it.